Hi, everyone. Sorry I can't be there. Thanks to a medical appointment, I decided to make a video. Luckily, today's lesson is pretty straightforward. It's on order of operations. And so it's not going to be too challenging if you were to be confused and need to catch up. Also, if you do need to revisit this lesson, there's going to be a YouTube link available on our Brightspace, so you can always revisit. Our lesson, order of operations, is important in that we need to establish universal rules for arithmetic and mathematics so that people don't have the same question but come up with different answers. That would be terrible. Okay, so we're going to explore this order of operations, aka BEDMAS, by trying out a couple of questions. Okay. And as we go along, I will ask the substitute teacher to pause once in a while so that the students have like 10, 20, or even 30 seconds to at least try it with their desk mate. Remember what I told you in class about being able to discuss and argue with friends? Well, here it is. Okay. Order of operations, aka BEDMAS, is a set of rules or an order in which you do the mathematics. So in terms of operations, you know about subtraction, you know about addition, you know multiplication or division, and remember multiplication can be written as a dot, and I'll tell you a story about that if you're curious later. There is also an exponent, which means multiple multiplications. So in case you didn't know, exponents, we will have a full lesson on it later. But for now, know that if there is a tiny number on the upper right corner of a normal number, that represents an exponent. And it means whatever this larger number is, you multiply with itself that many times. So 3 to the power of 3 would be 3 multiplying with itself 3 times. If I do 3 to the power of 5, it means 3 multiplying with itself 5 times. Okay? And so that is multiple multiplications. So exponents is takes precedence. There's more importance placed on it versus just a regular multiplication. And then comes brackets, otherwise known as parentheses. Curved brackets are called parentheses, and these square things are called actual brackets. That's why in American schools, instead of BEDMAS, they often call it PEDMAS. So if you go to the internet, you'll see PEDMAS as well. But you might be asking, okay, so what's the big deal? Why do I have to spend so much of my time learning a set of rules? And who invented these rules? And why do I have to follow them? This is terrible. How dare you? This is a democracy, whatever. Let me tell you why it's sort of important. I'm going to go about a minds on, and this is where I'm going to ask the substitute to pause the video for 10 seconds. 2 plus 3 times 2, what is the answer? Pause and go. 10 seconds. Okay, I'm going to assume that you pause it and you tried it. 2 plus 3 times 2. If you know what we're doing, you will know that 3 times 2 must come first. In other words, we have 2 plus 3 times 2, that's a 6. And the correct answer is actually an 8. Okay, if you decided to do the addition first, so that'll be 2 plus 3, that'll be 5 times 2, and the answer will be a 10, and that's actually incorrect, right? And by BEDMAS, B-E-D-M-A-S. The M, which stands for multiplication, comes before the letter A that stands for addition. So I think you get the point, okay? There is a order to things. And once again, if you're curious as to know, I mean, famous people like Thomas Edison, they were constantly asking why. They were brilliant, but they just needed to understand. I was like that too as a kid. And so I'm not saying I'm brilliant. That's not what I meant. Well, that's not what I meant. I needed to know the full story. A lot of my elementary and middle school teachers hated me for it because they felt me so annoying. So I want to extend that option to you. If you really are interested, hey, let me know when I next see you. Before the moment, there is a rule to things. You have to follow BEDMAS. Okay. So here, if you're good with BEDMAS, you'd be like, oh yeah, this is easy. Here's a little bit more of an ambiguous situation. I'm going to ask the substitute to pause the video, and I'll give you 30 seconds this time. Ready? And pause. You pause it. Some people, again, I'm hoping that people started discussing and arguing with each other. Some people would have done this first, which means 8 divided by 2 is a 2, multiplied by a 2, the answer is a 4. Some people might have argued, hey, BEDMAS says I can do a multiplication or a division in any order I want. So some people might have done that first. So 8 divided by 8, which is a 1. Which one's the right one? Right? And this could be you saying, I wonder, right? I'm just like not happy. The correct answer, going once, going twice, is the left one. The correct answer is a 4. And let me tell you why. When there is ambiguity, in other words, when there is unclear order of operation between BEDMAS, you do it as if you were reading a book, left to right. So division comes before multiplication. So these little rules make a big difference as the math journey becomes more and more complicated. So it's important for you to do this by reflex, by habit, without even thinking. You must be able to apply BEDMAS naturally, like in your sleep. How do you do that? Well, it's muscle memory. You need practice. So let's get some practice in. Expressions with multiplication. Again, I see a multiplication along with an addition. So what I sort of like to do, okay, in times like this, when I have to, is literally take a finger. Okay, that's my finger. Let's see if I can select it. Select annotation. Okay. Oops. Yeah. And I'm going to, can I move it? Oh, I made it smaller. I'm pretty sure, yeah. I'm going to put that right over the number that I don't need to do. Okay. So I'm going to work with the multiplication first. That's a 20 plus a 3, and that answer is a 23. Let's try something else, like maybe letter C. I'll do that with you. A -4 is added to a 2, which happens to multiply to a 3 and is also subtracted by a 10, right? You can't just simply do it from left to right like you're reading a book in this case, because the multiplication of a +2 and a +3 has to come first. Okay? Notice how the positive value, the positive sign is stuck with the 2. Okay, you have to remember that. It's going to help you if you keep that habit, like for example, that -2 here, keep the negative with the 2. That habit's going to help you and remove lots of headaches in the future. So -4 is there. A +2 times a +3 is a +6. That's -10. Now there's an addition. So a negative with an addition and a subtraction. You could do that all in one go. -4 plus a 6. From yesterday's practice, you should know that's a +2. And if you could do all that in your head and skip this step, your final answer should be a -8. Totally okay with you going from that line to the next line. Okay. This is what it means to show your work. So pausing right here, I also want to have a shameless plug into writing out your math correctly. Notice how I have a mathematical sentence here, aka an expression. Okay. There is no equal sign on this line. There is no equal sign on this line. There is no equal sign on this line. And so I will make the next line equal to the previous line. That's what it means. This sentence is the same as the next sentence. So you place your equal sign right under. Okay. and you solve one portion, and then you put an equal sign right under, and you solve all the other portions. Okay, and that's it. Expressions with multiplication, there's practice number one. I'm going to ask you to try it. Okay, same with division. I am going to do an example with division, and then I'm going to essentially have the substitute pause and give you about 5 minutes to give practice one and practice two a chance. Take a look at division. Once again, I see there is a division and I see there is a addition. The addition will come second. The division comes first. Okay, so we have 15 divided by 3 equals 5 plus 10. That equals 15. Once again, notice how I have the equal sign right underneath, and I solve that highlighted block, and then all of that is solved later on. This is going to be very important if you want me to give you full marks for communication. Now, I don't know what elementary school or middle school you're coming from. I don't know what math teachers you might have had, but take it from me, I'm pretty awesome. This is the proper way of solving and showing your work. So if you don't have this habit, develop that habit with me immediately. Okay, let's do the next one. 2 added to an 18 that happens to be divided by a 2. So I'm actually going to solve this first. Sorry, I'm going to solve that first. A positive 18, so 2 comes down. Positive 18 divided by a 2 is a positive 9, and that becomes an 11. Next, I see a multiplication separated by a positive or a plus. I also see a division, and that's separated with a -1. Okay, so let's do this. Equals. I'm going to do the division and the multiplication at the same time, because multiplication and division can be done at the same time. 5 times 2, 10. Positive 16 divided by 8, it's a positive 2, and -1. Next line, addition, subtraction. I'm going to do it all at once. That's an 11. That's it. So may I ask the substitute to pause the video at this time? Everyone here, would you give about 5 minutes, see if you can finish letters B, D, E, F, and then next page, practice 2, D, E, F. Okay. All right, moving on. Expressions with exponents. Remember, based on BEDMAS, this must come before multiplication or division. Here we go. 2 plus an exponent. Once again, this takes precedence. All right, so this is 2 plus 3 times 3. So this is 3 times 3. That's essentially what it means. You don't have to write it out this way, but if you look at it like this, sometimes it's easier to not make mistakes. Okay, it's easier to do it well. So this is 2 plus a 9, so the answer is 11. Same with this one. How about let's do the hard one. I see there is an exponent, so that must come first. This is 7 times 4 plus 10 divided by 5 minus 1. And next, in this next line, a multiplication and a division take precedence. That's 28 plus a 2, and then -1 is left over. And all that's left now is addition, subtraction. I'm going to do all that in my head. That's a 30 minus 1. That is 29. There it is. It is all based on knowing what the order is. Okay, if you know the order, it's just a matter of being careful and taking your time. If you don't know the order, no matter how much time you take, the answer will essentially be wrong. So please take your time, and slowly build your speed once your accuracy is up. Okay, accuracy first, speed later. Practice number 2, I think you can try that on your own. A quick hint with that part. Okay, that's a 40 divided by a 2 squared. The exponent must come first. So this is practice 2. I'm going to rewrite this and do the exponent first. And the rest is up to you. I think you can continue this on. All right. We're almost there. We're more than half. The final challenge essentially is brackets. Brackets is the first letter of BEDMAS, and if you can master brackets on top of your exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, well, you're ready for bigger and better things. All right. We have examples, we have more practice, and the rest is just homework for you for today or for the weekend. All right, so let's do this. Example 2 with brackets. It does not matter what is inside versus what is outside. Whatever is inside the bracket, please resolve first. So in this case, once again, equal sign, don't forget it. 4 plus 10 minus 4, 6. Now, from your integer lesson, what do we do when we have a positive in front of a bracket or a positive 1 in front of a bracket? Well, it's sort of like a positive 1 is multiplying with the 6. We can rewrite this as 4 plus a 6, and the answer is a 10. Okay? Let's try something harder. Ooh, here we have a division. Here we have an exponent, but all that exponent is on a bracket, and then there's a subtraction. Okay, lots going on here. Bracket must come first. Let's resolve what's inside there. 25 is divided by -5. That should come quick if you've been practicing yesterday's homework. Done. Since I'm done that, I must now resolve the exponent. We have 25 divided by -5 times -5, right? -5. Don't write this. -5 times -5. That's squared. So let's solve it. -5 times -5 is a positive 25 minus 10. Next, we have division or subtraction. Division comes first. That's a 1 minus a 10. Final answer, -9. Okay. Let's see if you can do that last one. All right. Let's see the last one together. If the substitute could pause the video for, I'm going to say 1 minute, exactly 60 seconds for the students to do. Everyone can try it in 3, 2, 1, pause. Assuming everyone had a chance to at least try and make mistakes, please make mistakes. I see a bracket being divided by an exponent. There's a multiplication, addition, subtraction. By knee-jerk reflex, I am going to resolve the bracket first. Next, I notice there is an exponent. So let's resolve that first. We have 5 plus 12 divided by 4 plus 2 times 7 minus 3. And then here is 12 divided by 4. We have a 2 multiplied by 7. They've got to come together. We have 5 plus 3 and a positive 2 times 7, 14 minus 3. And all that's left is addition and subtraction. Let's see, 5, 8, 22, 19. There we go. That's BEDMAS. It's not meant to be difficult as long as you are careful, right? And the questions that I'm going to give you are not going to be like 2, 3 crazy 3-digit questions. It is only me testing to see if you are able to follow the order of things. So would you please try practice 2 here as well? And once you have done so, you can move on to do the independent practice. What I'm going to do is, well, in real time here, let me fill out all of the answers to the practice questions, okay? And then and showcase it on this video. So how about the substitute, pause this video and give the students about 5 to 10 minutes to finish all of the practice questions in the first, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 pages of this package. Once you see the answers on this video, the rest of the class time can be used using independent practice or just relaxing, getting ready for the next class, whatever. All right. So please pause the video. And when the class seems okay or the class starts getting a little rowdy, please press play and they can check their answers for practice 1, practice 2, and practice 2. All right, pause the video, go. Okay, here are the answers. 9 times 2, 18 minus 4, the answer is 14. Let's see, 12. 4 times 4, 16, answer 28. Let's see, ooh, -2 times a 5 is -10. So the answer is -14. Remember, you can totally come back and see the answers to these videos and my solution, like full solutions at a later time. Okay. And example B that we did not do is -8. Going down. Okay, division. Division comes first. -9 divided by 3 is a -3. The answer is -9. 5 plus 10 divided by a -2 is 5. Plus divided by a negative, that's -5. The answer is actually 0. Here we go. 12 divided by 4, 3, minus 1. +4 divided by 2, +2. Answer is 4. Moving on. Exponents. Equal sign. -5. 2 times 2 times 2, +8. -4. The final answer is -1. 5 squared. 25. Subtracted by 9. Oops. The answer is, let's see, 25, 16. Equals 8. 3 times 3 times 3, 27, minus 12. This is 35, 25, 23. And the final answer to this would be 10 plus 20 minus 3, that's 27. Final one. Brackets first, equals -2 inside the bracket. There's a -1 multiplying with the -2. So that's actually +2 plus 2. So the final answer is actually a 10. Put a little star next to that because the negative in front of a bracket, some people might still be a little, jittery on that. Revisit it next time. 4 times what's in the bracket, -5 minus 3 squared. 4 times -5 minus a 3 squared. This one, I have a feeling half of you might have made a mistake. A -3 squared is not -3 times a -3. This square only applies to the 3. A +3 I'll talk more about this when we go through our exponent lesson, but for now, this can be rewritten as 3 multiplied by itself. So this is actually 4 times a negative 5 minus a 9, not plus 9. Okay, put a little star next to that and say, Mr. Kim will get to it later. We've got negative 20 minus 9, negative 29. Here we go. We got 50 divided by a fraction, a bracket, which happens to be 16 plus 9 minus 10. 5 minus 3 is 2 squared. So 50 divided by 25, resolve that bracket, minus 10 plus 4. 50 divided by 25, there. And 2 minus 10 is the negative 8 plus 4, negative 4. There are your answers. I will upload this sheet on our Brightspace as well, in case you want it for your records. For the rest of the period, would you please either rewatch this video or absolutely try this independent practice for your weekend? I will be checking when we get back together on Monday, so do your very best. Do not get lost. Do not give up. Be disciplined. And remember, on Tuesday, we will have our little quiz on chapter 1.1 to 1.3. So essentially, Monday is going to be a review period of sorts. Make sure you practice. And that's it. Stay tuned, and hope you have a good weekend. Take care of yourself.